Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. My name is Quinn and welcome to my channel. So for my Mukbang Monday this week, I decided to try John Legend's crispy fried chicken recipe and it turned out amazing. And that recipe was actually in this cookbook that I've had for a very long time. Unfortunately, I've only tried like 2 recipes in it, and then the fried chicken was like the 3rd recipe, and that turned out so well that I decided to dig through our storage and dig this out of the box. And so yeah, I was looking through the recipes today and I really wanted to try another recipe and kind of almost do like a recipe review for you guys. So in this video, I'm going to try to make Chrissy Teigen's chicken pot pie with crust crackers. Now, I've actually seen this on YouTube on like a delish video, and a lot of people have tried recreating this recipe and kind of like testing it out, and it's gotten really good reviews and a lot of people seem to really like it. So I thought I would test it out for myself, kind of treat ourselves a little bit again, but I figured it's the holidays and it's cold outside and it's a good time to try out a hearty and warm recipe such as this chicken pot pie recipe. So anyway, I went ahead and pre-chopped a lot of the ingredients. So this is rotisserie chicken that I've taken off the bone and cubed, which is what it calls for in the book. And then I also cubed a russet potato. It's a decent sized potato. And then I also have about 2 cups of diced carrots. It's about a ½ pound of carrots. And also I went ahead and peeled these pearl onions because I couldn't find frozen pearl onions in the frozen section. So I went through and I peeled these by hand, which took the longest. So, so yeah, if you can find this in the frozen section, totally get the frozen ones instead of the fresh ones because it'll save you a lot of time, but I couldn't find it. So I went ahead and got the fresh ones. He's been working out in the garage on his car. Okay, so the first thing it says to do is make the pie crust, which she actually makes herself. So instead of the traditional pot pie crust in the pot pie dish, Chrissy just makes her crust into like a cracker and just lays it flat onto like a baking sheet and bakes it that way. So we're gonna try to do that real quick. So to make the pie crust, you're going to need 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of fine sea salt, 2 sticks of cold unsalted butter cubed. So this is like really cold butter. I cubed it up and then put it back in the fridge for an additional 20 or so minutes. And then it says to pulse it until the butter is just about pea size. Okay. And 1½ cup of ice water. And she says pulse until a dough forms. Okay, I think this is good. Yeah, that's pretty dough-like. So I think we're good. All right, so now that we have our dough mixture pretty much prepared, you're supposed to dust your countertops with a little bit of flour. She says to turn this over onto your counter. Okay, now she says to gather this together into 2 like discs. I'm trying to pick up all the little tiny pieces because it didn't really like come together in a ball in the food processor. Okay, so now that it's like all in one bowl, I'm gonna separate it and like divide it into 2. I'm just gonna use my hand to kind of chop it in half. So she says to shape these into 5-inch discs. And then you can freeze one and then use one for tonight's dinner. Okay, so disc number 1. And then I'm gonna shape this into another disc. It smells so good because it's so buttery. So I'm gonna wrap this up in some plastic wrap. And this one is gonna be the one that goes into the freezer for me. So I'm gonna put this in a freezer Ziploc bag. And this one I'm just going to wrap in some plastic wrap and put this into the fridge. It's supposed to be in there for about 30 minutes before you bake it. Okay, so now you're supposed to preheat your oven to 375 degrees and then we'll get started with the pot pie soup. The next step requires a saucepan. So we have this one right here. And she says to bring the chicken broth and milk to simmer and keep it at a simmer. So for this, you need 6 cups of low sodium chicken broth. So here's 2 cups, 4 cups, and then this one makes 6 cups, 2 cups of whole milk. Okay, and it says to bring it to a simmer and keep it at a simmer. I'm gonna let this heat up and simmer because this needs to be simmering before I move on to the next step. So I will be right back. Okay, so this is pretty much close to simmering. I'm gonna grab a larger pot. So I'm gonna turn the heat for this pot onto medium-high heat. So in goes the butter. Here's a very healthy recipe, guys. I'm just gonna use this ladle to kind of stir it around. Ouch. Okay, don't do that. So to this we're going to add 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, and then just stir it around until it's fragrant, so it's about a minute. So to that you're gonna add about a cup of flour and lower the heat down and stir that in. And you're gonna stir this for about 2 to 3 minutes until it starts foaming. And we're going to whisk this into this. So I'm just gonna do it 1 ladle at a time. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 spoons at a time. And then now it says to add salt and pepper. Okay, now potatoes. Carrots. And then the pearl onions. 1 cup of frozen peas. And then also the ham. Add a little bit more salt and pepper. I don't have a rolling pin, so this is going to work for now. I really wanted this thin, so I just pressed it out really, really thin. I'm gonna put this onto my baking sheet now, and then she says to poke holes in it. Okay, I think that's enough holes. And that goes into the oven for 30 minutes. Okay, so in goes the chicken. As if that isn't creamy enough, we're gonna stir in another 1/2 cup of heavy cream. And it says to let that kind of simmer for about 5 minutes. Okay, so I have about 5 minutes until the crust is done. Just tasted this and it needs a little bit of salt, so I'm just going to add the finishing seasoning. So good. And I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'd rather under season it than over season, that way I can add more if needed. Also you can add some tabasco sauce. So I don't wanna over salt it. And then I'm gonna add just a little bit more pepper. That's good. And give that a stir. Oh my gosh, yes, this smells so good. It looks so good. We have 30 seconds left. You guys, just look at how thick and creamy this soup is. Okay, here we go. I'm making a mess, of course. Okay, so this we're just gonna cut up carefully and just barely pushing it down. And then the rest I'm just going to break it. Done. Now we're just gonna put a couple of these on. Okay guys, the moment of truth. This looks so good. Just gonna give this a try with the crust. Oh my goodness. Wow.
How is it?
That's really good. I thought it was going to be really thick and like too rich because of the amount of butter and cream in it, but it's actually not that like heavy. It's not that thick. And I love that Chrissy has rotisserie chicken because it makes it so much easier. You don't have to worry about cooking the chicken twice or having it turn out too mushy. Wow, this crust is amazing. I've never made pie crust before. I'm gonna give the pearl onion a try. I know I saw one in here. Here it is. I've never really had pearl onions like whole like this before, so I'm very curious to see how it's going to taste. I'm totally digging it. That's really good. It's like a little ball of happiness. I'm gonna finish this up. So good. I can't wait to eat the whole bowl. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Kind of like a recipe review of Chrissy Teigen's chicken pot pie recipe. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Would you give this recipe a try? Also, please give this video a like if you guys enjoyed it. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to click on that subscribe button right there so you can see more videos like this. I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.